Your teeth contain iron. Your whole life of biting and chewing are wearing down this layer of iron-reinforced frank, but you're not the only animal on Earth that is equipped. On several isolated islands in Indonesia, one of the largest living lizards. Every time he opens his mouth, the edges of 60 teeth are also plated with a layer of genuine iron. This is not literary rhetoric. 2024. Studies published in Nature, Ecology, and Komodo is reported. The tips and cutting edges of serrated teeth, complex with a layer of iron deposits, make this tooth as sharp as a steak knife. Received near-industrial grade cutting reinforcement. This is subpteron, a structure from the name to every inch of the body. It's like a species that crawled out of mythology, but it was stared at by biology. On this mediocre label, over the past few legends about him, all the time around a mouthful of deadly saliva, everyone tells you his mouth harbors more than 57 pathogenic bacteria. Bite by him. Even if you are lucky enough to break free, it can also quickly become infected and decay within a few days. Prey appears. He just has to leisurely follow, waiting for the breath of death to come in the air. Guide him to collect the corpse. This picture is so memorable. So much so that it has been included in a web of popular science documentaries. Unfortunately, he was half right, but it misses a fundamental premise. The real weapon is venom. In 2009, venom expert Brian Fry was scanned with MRI. It is reported that the well-preserved head accidentally found toxic lines on both sides. Combined, it can hold about 1.2 milliliters. And this really pushed the germ theory to the brink. Follow-up studies further confirm so-called deadly oral bacteria. Mostly, the saprophytic bacteria that are commonly found in the environment. It is reported not numerous, but specially cultivated biological what really weapons makes the prey fall in a short period of time. Complex toxins secreted by their venom glands. This is not a moment like snake venom, a nerve blitz. It's a more brutal biochemical consumption. Venom is rich in a class of toxin protein. Is extremely clear. Destroys fibrinogen in the blood. This protein, after the blood vessel is damaged, essential raw material for forming blood clots. Once the fibrin source is exhausted, the wound can no longer be scabbed. The second toxin induces the body. This is an enormous release of something called a retarding. It forces blood vessels throughout the body to relax, expand the wound, and blood flows. But the blood vessels, like Jedi channels, plunge in blood pressure. Prey goes from blood loss to final loser is not the infection. It's a physical breakdown of the circulatory system. In the laboratory, inject only 0.4 milligrams of venom, enough to be considered a body weight. Total cardiovascular failure. A body length of up to 3 meters. More adult subjects weighing up to 70 kilograms. It is reported approximately 200 milligrams of toxic protein for a 40 kilogram deer. It only takes about 4 milligrams into the blood, just enough to make it fall to the ground. Subjects have learned more, soluble in too much, bordering on waste. But if you think he is just relying on chemical weapons violence, that's underestimating evolution. The devil engineered. Komodo's reported skull and jaw muscles. Obviously, only saltwater crocodiles of the same size of the bite produced. In terms of mobility, completely heavy tank by hydrogen soldier situation. But this seemingly disadvantageous physical attack pushed to the extreme of efficiency by the structure of his crown is bent back. The edges are covered with tiny a layer of iron membranes plating. Fall on every serrated tooth and it's serrated with a tough mouth that will never rust. He doesn't have to cling to his prey. The prey is a burst shock, dash, bite, shake your head, and tear. This puncture and tear bite pattern will tear deeply and deeply on the prey. Wide, irregular, huge wound, cut by iron teeth, and you jump the venom into it. Blood clotting is impossible. Blood pressure cannot be maintained. Escape is pointless. But that was not his craziest design. Komodo's known female can be without any males. Complete the promotion and produce healthy offspring. January 2026. Zoo. The female Komodo has been kept alone for 11 years. It is reported laid 16 eggs without mating. 2 of them were successfully This is the first case in year 2. A female Komodo at Chester Zoo in the UK. It is reported laid a fertilized egg during solitary confinement. Scientists tested. They don't contain any male DNA. He doesn't need males for reproduction at all. That's called solitary magnetic Komodo's reported magnetism carries W and Z. 2 sex chromosomes. Males, on the other hand, carry 2 Z chromosomes. When the environment forces the female to reproduce alone, its sex cells are unlike those of most animals. After meiosis, it must fuse with sperm. It's capable of a round of self-replication and reorganization. Combination of Z chromosomes. Z can survive and produce male offspring. The WW combination cannot survive at the embryonic stage. So, a completely isolated female Komodo. Eggs, laid, all hatched, are males. He's making himself a future spouse. This mechanism has a terrifying effect on the survival of species. The strategic significance when a female Komodo is known to be caught by ocean currents or geological changes bring a brand on an island without any of its kind. 1 minute, he was a drifter. The next moment, he was the founder. He gave birth to a son. They mate with their son. A species starts from scratch, and the deeper logic of the fight is yet to come. Komodo's known cubs, completely independent from birth. Without parental feeding, there's no kindred spirit. In order not to starve the same including their own adult counterparts, they will instinctively flee to the canopy. Spend the first time in life in a tree. It's also the most dangerous year, but this mouth is full of venom. Acquaintance. Species that open up territories by solitary magnetic appreciation. Never won a death-free gold medal from the hands of time. He was recognized by the International Listed Union as an endangered species. The wild population is down to less than 3,000 and stranded in Jagsonta Island. A few pieces between the shrinking rainforest and the western savanna. He's in a much more fragile position than we thought. But in his body, hidden a bargaining chip that makes humans have to bow their heads. Duo Dew Sucks Blood is rich in antimicrobial 2026. Published study in the Journal of Omics Research. 48 species were isolated and sequenced from potential resistance. Mycopeptide, 8 of them were synthesized for in vitro testing. 7 kinds of simultaneous and Staphylococcus aureus shows significant lethality. To know that these 2 bacteria are clinically effective precisely the most resistant superpathogen. Researchers speculate these antimicrobial peptides are exactly what Komodo is 57 kinds of healing bacteria in its mouth. Killed. Safe after a similar bite. Safe core immune defense. One born a predator living in carrion and deadly saliva. Evolved a set. It can confront the dead flora in its own mouth head on. Blood immune system. Those in human hospitals. Incurable superbugs in the ice. In his plasma, it's just every day. We call it learned. Call him a dragon, call him a monster. But he is more than all these labels combined. Are more complicated. He is an actor. A shiny, laminated killing machine. It's also a mobile antibiotic. Detracts with forked tongues. The smell of carrion 4 kilometers away. Rely on an iron ruler to tear apart the fate. He knows his kind. But it can also be in a desperate situation. Self-creation. Komodo is not known to have participated in any war of human civilization. But it has the ability to send humans a fight. The key to for us to use to fight microscopic he had never seen. World War. He lived into a deadly and antidote, all sealed in the same stupid, heavy and ancient body. Wait for the moment he feels threatened. I opened my mouth unhurriedly to let you see